Living near the sea was once one of the greatest advantages a city could have. Water made movement easier than land. Ships could carry more goods than carts or caravans. Trade followed coastlines long before roads crossed continents. That is why many of the world's oldest cities sit by the sea. Ports became gateways to wealth. Harbors connected regions to global trade routes. Access to the ocean meant access to the world. For centuries, coastal geography created opportunity. Cities grew outward from natural harbors. Infrastructure developed around ports and docks. Entire economies depended on maritime access. Being near the sea was a strategic choice. It reduced transport costs. It increased connectivity. It attracted people, capital, and industry. But today, that advantage is starting to change. Not suddenly. Not everywhere at once. And not for a single reason. The sea itself has not moved. The coastline has not disappeared. But the conditions around coastal cities have shifted. And many cities were not designed for what followed. And for many places, living near the coast is becoming a risk, not a benefit. This channel isn't about headlines or opinions. We look at how geography quietly shapes outcomes, over time, and across space. That's what we do here. Modern trade no longer depends only on proximity to the coast. Containerization changed how goods move. Deepwater ports matter more than coastal access alone. Logistics networks now favor efficiency over location. Some inland hubs are better connected than coastal cities. Rail and highway corridors bypass old port centers. Air freight reshaped high-value trade. At the same time, coastal cities kept expanding. Urban growth pushed development closer to the water. Low-lying land was filled and built over. Natural buffers like wetlands were reduced. Shorelines became hardened with concrete and steel. Cities traded flexibility for density. As populations grew, so did exposure. More people lived closer to sea level. More infrastructure was placed in flood-prone zones. Critical systems clustered near the coast. Power plants, ports, transportation hubs. What was once an advantage became a point of concentration. And concentration increases risk. Sea levels are rising gradually. Storm surges reach further inland. Tidal flooding occurs more frequently. Events that were once rare are becoming routine. Damage accumulates slowly, not dramatically. Coastal infrastructure faces constant pressure. Maintenance costs rise every year. Protective barriers must be reinforced repeatedly. Drainage systems struggle to keep up. Small failures happen more often. Unlike sudden disasters, these changes are incremental. They do not trigger immediate alarms. They are absorbed into budgets and repairs. But over time, the cost adds up. Insurance reflects this shift earlier than politics. Premiums rise in coastal zones. Coverage becomes harder to secure. Some risks are no longer insurable. Property values stop rising uniformly. Businesses respond quietly. Investment slows in vulnerable areas. Expansion plans move inland. Long-term projects become harder to justify. Ports themselves face new challenges. Larger ships require deeper channels. Dredging becomes more expensive. Sediment patterns change with sea level rise. Storm damage disrupts schedules more often. Supply chains prefer reliability over tradition. If a port is frequently disrupted, alternatives are chosen. Routes shift gradually, not overnight. The loss is rarely dramatic. But it is persistent. Coastal cities also face spatial limits. They cannot expand outward easily. The sea blocks one direction. Density increases pressure on infrastructure. Adaptation becomes more complex and costly. Meanwhile, inland regions gain relative advantages. They face fewer flooding risks. Land is more available. Infrastructure can be built with fewer constraints. Logistics hubs form away from the coast. This does not mean coastal cities are failing, but it does mean their geography no longer guarantees advantage. The conditions that once favored them are changing. Adaptation is possible, but expensive. Sea walls must be built and maintained. Flood defenses require constant upgrades. Urban planning must account for future conditions, not past ones. Some cities can afford this transition. Others cannot. And the difference is becoming more visible over time. What matters now is not proximity to the sea alone. It is flexibility, resilience, and the ability to adapt infrastructure to slow, persistent change. Geography has not stopped shaping outcomes. It has simply changed the terms. Living near the sea is no longer a guaranteed advantage. In many cases, it is becoming a long-term challenge. The world rarely works the way it appears on the surface. What shapes outcomes is usually hidden in systems, structures, and geography. On this channel, we break down those systems. Slowly. Clearly. Without noise. If this way of seeing the world is new to you, subscribing now means you won't miss what comes next. This is Behind the Map.